What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video, giving you some top tips for the Town Hall 10 BoWitch attack strategy. Let's dive straight into it. On this first base, JMO is going to take it out very comfortably with the bowlers. Using that separate army on either side, the bowlers and the witches, why does he take healers on one side of the base? Well, as you can see, all of the air defense are to the west, and ultimately the bowlers coming around the side are going to have a free reign away from the air defense around the north. So that's why the healers are used up top, and the bowlers are going to be able to get through to these defenses at the bottom a little bit easier. We also have the Wall Wrecker pressing through the base. This is ultimately what helps the BoWitch attack strategy and make it even stronger. Just because we weren't sure whether we could get direct access to that Inferno Tower on the back end, a jump spell was used, and that's definitely advisable. You're going to have to ensure that you can get to that Inferno Tower, and whilst the Wall Wrecker nearly got there, it ultimately didn't, and there was no telling how far it would get. We got comfortably through the first couple of walls, which you probably will do since it's merged and protected by all of the other troops. But have a jump spell for the back end, guys. That goes without saying, and we're going to cover a few different bases as to why this strategy might work. Getting access to the Infernos is crucial. Whether you take healers depends on whether you are free from air defense. It's another thing that can really help with this strategy, just because the bowlers and witches on the outside can take a lot of damage. If you can keep them up with even just a healer or two, it can help out massively. Let's get on to the next attack. We have a couple of them in this war. All of the attacks here by Elite Gaming in our CWL matchup against Crazy Monkey. As ever, if you want to join us, the information is in the description of this video. Again, check out this base, a little bit easier to get through. The Wall Wrecker coming sideways to the Town Hall here, trying to mess with its pathing ultimately, but it means that the bowlers and witches walking around the outside have a little bit of a safer option. Notice the healers again on the opposite side of the air defense. Down the bottom here, healers wouldn't be very helpful for the bowlers and witch, so really we're going to have to ensure that more bowlers get down to that area, which shouldn't be an issue. It's a nice open corridor, the bowlers can just walk straight down, but the Wall Wrecker continues to charge through and provide access for the Queen, and then out pops even more bowlers. So at this point, we have them spread right across the map, and there is that jump spell. You're going to have that jump spell for the back end once your Wall Wrecker goes thin and ultimately gets taken out. That's what's going to make this the 3-star attack. Without that jump spell, the bowlers would go down incredibly quick due to the defenses on the back end, especially if there was a wizard tower or something like that, which could do splash damage, because the bowlers do tend to clump up quite a bit. Now the Queen tends to hold back. She has more range. The bowlers are quite quick, especially when you have the rage spell on. So if you can, this is vital. Hold on to that Queen's ability. In this raid, it's not really going to be needed, but sometimes you will find the Queen will get around to them final few defenses, and she will be the only thing left up in order to take that out. It happens fairly commonly. You actually need the bowlers to take out the core of the base, and you have the separate armies coming around the side with that Queen and the ability in order to finish off. So a lot of the time getting to the final parts of the attack, it can get a little bit hairy, guys. That's why I'm saying hold on to that Queen's ability as best as possible. Let's check it out again. One thing we haven't mentioned, a couple of giants. That is going to be massive. It's going to help protect the witches. Remember, they cost a fair bit of space, so you're going to want to protect them. Just a couple of giants in each kind of proximity of the base. If you think of it left, right, center, that's all you need. Then you have the bowlers and witches around the left and right, and your main army coming through the center. Poison on the CC. Again, a freeze can be very beneficial, just depends on what you're going to run into. If you think your Wall Wreck is going to be targeted early on, because again, one thing that you need to do is make sure you have access through the base. So your wall wrecker is going to need to be protected, then that jump spell for the back end. Once you do get far enough, you can just, let it fizzle out. Don't pop the bowlers out unless you need to. Maybe it's, right next to a single Inferno, which is about to lock onto the Queen. If you pop the bowlers out, you'll be able to protect her. In separate occasions, you can most certainly use the wall wrecker early, but just let it do its thing. Let it tank. That's more hit points. Let it do that. Again, the jump spell is ultimately what provides access to them final defenses, and the Queen coming around needing to press the ability. Look at how many troops are left over. Obviously, there is a corner Tesla. It can be a little bit more troublesome with the BoWitch. That's again what the Giants coming in for is very beneficial. Just because if you put a witch in the corner and a Tesla pops up and takes it out, it's not good. So using the Giants is definitely beneficial. Again, check out this one. There's that Tesla we're talking about, and there's where the Giant helps so much. So just a couple of Giants is all you need. And then again, you're circling bowlers and witches around either side, 3 or 4 bowlers on either side, couple of witches, and then really just spreading the witches around because you want a nice even swoop through the base, if that makes sense. You will have to think about where the town hall is situated and try and get maximum value through the base with the wall wrecker, but I'm sure that's not too difficult in order to work out. The heal spell, again, we've mentioned the spells briefly, but the heal spell and the rage are very beneficial. Most of the time you're going to want a jump, 2 heal and 2 rage would be your standard composition for spells, and that poison spell. That means that you can rage them bowlers up. They do massive damage in front of themselves as well with the rage, but they can take a lot of damage as well, so the heal is very beneficial. Look at the jump spell there. That is pivotal. Again, I mentioned it at the start of the video. The Inferno Towers are what you need to be targeting. You want to try and get clear access to them, and the rage spell, although there are only a few skeletons and witches in that area, we're going to get the Inferno down. It means that we don't have to worry about the Queen getting locked onto. Arguably with this base, there's that little channel that she could have went up, but just taking them buildings down is crucial. Notice the gold storage. That was pro gameplay there, guys, to get that gold storage. That wouldn't have been reachable from the Queen. She'd have had to go that little bit further. So taking that down with the heal spell, we have the healers on the Queen with the bowlers. Heal that one witch. That gets that down. It's going to help with efficiency, and as you can see, stormed this base. So I hope that has helped you with the BoWitch attack strategy. Still viable at Town Hall 10. I'm not saying it's as popular and as strong as Lava Luna or Hog Riders, but definitely still viable, and I hope that video helped you. I've been your host, Judo Sloth, and until next time, peace out.